Hey, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Unlocking Excellence podcast. I'm your host, Eric Schwafel. It's great to have you here today. So check it out. It's been crazy. We're right around the holidays here, so I'm sure that this is gonna be released a little bit later, but it's around December, and there's a lot of things happening as far as New Year's goes, and getting into a new mindset. Right, this is what people want, getting their resolutions and everything like that. So that's a little bit about what we're gonna talk about today in this episode. So check it out. What I find super interesting is the New Year's resolutions, right? I love New Year's resolutions. I love it coming up. And there's a lot of different reasons, right? As a gym owner, you get a nice little influx of people that come to the gym. But the thing is that you get this thing that people love to call hope. We like to see and we like to hope and we wish for this new commitment, this new way of living that comes about, and we really like to ride that wave. However, instead of talking about the new resolutions that are coming, I want to talk about this past year, right? 2019. How did it go? Did you enjoy everything that came up with it? Were you able to get all your resolutions? Were you able to achieve what you wanted to achieve? And if you did, awesome. High five for you. And if you didn't, that's cool too. What could you possibly improve upon? You know what I mean? Like, what could you improve upon with these certain pieces of you, or not pieces of you, but these things that you did? Now, it could be with you wanted to improve relationships, you wanted to get in better shape, whatever it might have been. I think the statistic is something like only 8% of people, and it's probably lower than that, honestly, but only like 8% of people end up actually, they end up actually achieving their resolution. It's something extremely small. And there's several reasons for that, right? There's life. We can list, these outside circumstances that happen, but just getting down to it, it didn't happen because we weren't fully committed, right? We weren't fully committed to achieving the goal. There's 365 days, right? It's very rarely, there are exceptions to the rule, but it's very rarely that something comes up that takes us completely out of it for an entire year, right? Now, I'm not saying that there aren't those situations, so there's always exceptions to the rule. However, most of the time what happens is we just weren't committed fully to the goal and what we needed to do in order to have that happen. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, it's not necessarily a mindset thing that we talk about and that prevents you. And it's not necessarily outside external forces, your friends and your family and all that are stopping you from reaching your goal. It's that level of commitment, and it's the actions that you take every single day, right? It's the actions that we take every single day. So if you look, I believe it was Tony Robbins that said, let me see your habits and I'll show you your life. Or let me see your life and I'll tell you your habits, something along those lines, because it's all too true. If you want your future to be different, it's not about actually planning to make your future different. It's about making what you do today different. It's your habits, your daily habits, day in and day out, the things that you do in the now, right? In this moment that make it different. Whether it's an adaptation of your thoughts, whether it's different actions from day to day. If you keep smoking, then you're not going to quit smoking. If you keep eating more calories than your body digests and burns, then you're going to gain weight. You can't get strong unless you lift the weight, right? Unless you encounter some type of stimulus and overcome it. So that's where we're talking about today. It's not your mindset that's the issue coming up and helping you, or that's going to get you out of this place of being stuck. It's going to be the daily actions and the daily thoughts and the daily I don't want to say progress, but the daily movement that you have that's going to unstick you. So I was listening to a podcast the other day, and it was right around this, and it said most people, what they want to do is they try to work towards or work out of their problems, but working out of your problem never usually is the answer, right? You need to operate from a different kind of place where who you are is fundamentally different. Because let's take a look at losing weight. If you're fundamentally somebody who goes out on the weekends and relieves stress through drinking and eating lots of food, and you do that more often than eating proper calories or eating or working out a few times a week or staying active, then nothing is going to change. So it is through your habits that things begin to change. So how can you change your habits? Well, first you have to examine your day. You have to be aware of what you're doing, and you have to start where you are, right? One way that we can do this is by writing down, having a paper that's separated into 15-minute increments. So from the time you wake up, every 15 minutes, you want to write down what you're doing. And you can break this down into every 10 minutes. You can break this down to every 5 minutes. It's really up to you. And what it does is it gives you a timesheet. It allows you to see where you waste time and where you invest time, right? Now, when wasting time, it could be with social media. It could be getting distracted. There's a whole bunch of different things. And you really get to determine what it is that is wasting time and what is investing time. And from here, when we get to see our day, and I encourage you to do this maybe 2 or 3 different days, when we finally get to see our day, then we get to see, oh, this is how I'm spending my time. This is where my priorities are. This is actually what it is, right? Not what you want it to be, but what it is. And you can see how much time do you commit to family? How much time do you commit to yourself, to your workout journey, to eating correctly, to actually being prepared for the day, right? To your mental state, to your emotional state, to your environmental state. What do you clean? So with all that in mind, we can start to adjust, and we can start to recalibrate where we want to go and how we want to act and who we want to be. And it's quite a beautiful thing when you think about it. So once you establish where you are and what you're doing, the next piece of the puzzle is going to be simply to adjust that, right? So this is what you're doing, that timetable, this is what you're doing, that's your feedback, right? And if you feel like you're failing, just realize, remember, it's feedback. However, then after that, what we can do is a couple of different things, and this is really going to help you out, I believe. You make a list, and if I said this in a past podcast, I apologize, but you make a list of what you're interested in, okay? So you have your timesheet listed out, and then you want to make a list of what you're interested in, and you write down everything that you're interested in, everything that you're interested in. It could be learning to play the guitar. It could be learning another language, traveling, making more money, having a better body, all the things that you're interested in. Okay. And then you set that list aside, and we make a list of what it is that we are committed to. Okay. So this is step number 3. Step number 1, make out the timetable. Step number 2, a list of what you're interested in. Step number 3, what are you committed to? Okay. Now, committed is very different to from interested. Committed to means this is what's happening no matter what it takes, I'm going to get it done. So it could be working out, it could be eating properly, it could be spending time with family, with your kids. It could be making a certain amount of money. It can be whatever you want it to be, but what are you committed to? So you have your list of what you're interested in, and it can be some things that you're interested in too, right? And what you're committed to day in, day out, no matter what, this is happening. The next piece of the puzzle is going to be to take that committed list and write X's and circles next to it. Circles to what you're committed to now, and then circles to, or X's to, what you are committed to later. And if you want to make a separate list of what you're committed to now and what you're committed to later, you can do that. So to go over those steps one more time, we listed out our day in 5 to 15-minute increments. We made a list of what we're interested in, and we made a list of what we're committed to. Now we're separating that list into what we're committed to now and what we're committed to later. And it's as simple as this. To get unstuck, you look at and execute the items on the list that are under the title, what you're committed to now. Boom. It's that simple. You see, because when you're interested in something, you're just interested in it. It doesn't really matter if you do it or not. Somebody I was talking to the other day, they said, yeah, I'm really interested in playing the guitar, but I can tell you how many years that I've been interested in doing that. I said, right. So you're not committed to that. She goes, right. I said, you just had a new puppy, didn't you? She said, yeah, his name's Django. I said, yeah, you're committed to taking care of Django, right? She goes, hell yeah, I am. There's no way that I can't be. So you see, there's a difference between being interested in something and being committed to it. So when you see what you're committed to now, then it's a lot different than being interested in it. And it's a lot different than being committed to it later. So what does that mean? What is it? Let me ask you this question. What is it that you're committed to now? Is it your health? Is that the season that you're in? Is it your relationship? Is it making money? Is it your animals, your dogs? Is it cleaning your house? Are you committed to people pleasing? Because you can actually be committed to things that you don't want to be committed to. A spouse that doesn't care for you. Are you committed to unhealthy eating, to going to bed late, to watching TV? Are you committed to being a bitter person? Whatever it might be, you can look at the quote unquote negative things that you're also committed to as well. So it's not your mindset really that gets you out of things. It's what you choose to do, right? It is your habits. And sometimes our habits we think are actually, or they become a part of us, but they're really not, right? There's something that we do. We determine what we do from who we are, right? So a person who feels bad is probably going to do more things to make themselves feel bad and others feel bad. But one that feels good and joyful and light and wonderful and they feel cared for and loved, they're going to do things that make other people cared for and loved. So start doing that for yourself. Start showing yourself that self-love. Start showing yourself that self-healing. And you'll notice that just naturally by taking care of yourself more, your actions, your habits, your results are going to change and you won't be stuck anymore because you're living your life by design. You're living your life through creation and not through want. Whenever we want something to happen, usually that means we're working from a disempowered place. We're working from a place where we want other people to take care of us, and we want other people to show us what it means to be the best possible version of ourselves. But that's not absolutely possible, right? We need to show ourselves what it's like to be the best version of ourselves through taking care of ourselves, through changing our habits, through changing our actions, through right thought, through right action, through oh my gosh, I wish I could remember right action, right thought, and right speech, right verbiage. So with that being said, please, 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 please take a moment to do a time list, a timestamp for every 5 to 15 minutes in a day, 3 days max. That's all it takes. Then from there, make a list of what you're interested in, make a list of what you're committed to, make a list of what you committed to later, make a list of what you're committed to now. And then from there, what do you get to do? You get to execute the list of what you're committed to now. And that's it, man. That is it. It takes time, right? We live in a universe where things aren't granted immediately. It takes time for it to come to this physical place. So what happens in that time is just make sure that you really want what it is that you're working towards, because there'll be temptations and distractions to take you away from it. And that, my friends, is how you end up getting the results you want, how you change things very, very quickly, especially if you're not feeling like, hey, I am not making the progress that I want. Take a look. If you're not getting the progress that you want, take a look at your inner stance, where you're operating from. Take a look at how you feel on a daily basis, and take a look at your actions and what you're committed to. Sometimes we're not committed to the things that we think we're committed to. I love you. I hope you have a great day. And my friend, you are unstoppable. If you like what you hear right now, be sure to click and subscribe. We have new episodes coming out every week. And yeah, let me know if you enjoy this. Send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. You can, excuse me, even leave a comment here, and I will look forward to reading those and responding. Hope you have a great day. Peace.